Hello, my name is Admiral Sandy Winnefeld. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and a former commander of NORAD and NORTHCOM, where I've developed a fantastic relationship with our nation's National Guard. Welcome to this month's edition of the DNG News.
Good day, Delaware National Guard, and welcome to the July 2014 edition of the DNG News. June was a busy month with events happening nearly every weekend. We started off the month, as we do every June, visiting the state capitol for the spring NASCAR race at Dover Downs Monster Mile. The Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was there to enlist several new members into our Delaware National Guard and active duty. Later, we stood on stage as all the drivers were introduced, and following that, I kicked off the race with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the number 88 National Guard Chevrolet crew. The very next day, I was joined by family and friends to bid farewell to Detachment 1F, Company 1 of the 126th Aviation. Here is Sergeant John Iwasco with the story.
20 Delaware Army National Guard soldiers of the 126th Medevac bid farewell to family and friends as they deploy in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. The 126 will primarily conduct medevac missions during this deployment. The unit's focus will be to transport patients and supplies.
Feels very good. We spent a lot of time training in a very short period of time. We accomplished a lot that a lot of people I don't think thought we were going to be able to do, but having some people that are veterans made a difference, and a lot of young people that were energetic about learning what their jobs were. So I couldn't be prouder of the people that I have to serve under me and for me to serve with. I look forward to serving with them.
Delegates recognized the value of the 126, vowing to support the unit both overseas and upon their return.
I'm pretty excited. It's my first one since I've joined, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Family-wise, I'm going to miss the missus. I can't wait to come back home already, but I feel like it's going to be a great deployment. We haven't had much time to really prepare, but we always make do with what we have, and I think we did a great job of preparing for this deployment.
Reporting from Newcastle, Delaware, I'm Sergeant John Iwasco.
Over drill weekend, the 72nd Troop Command saw a change of responsibility. Command Sergeant Major Bill Campbell passed his responsibilities as the Brigade Sergeant Major to Command Sergeant Major Don Catalan. Good luck to you, Sergeant Major Catalan, on your new responsibilities, and congratulations to you, Sergeant Major Campbell, on your upcoming retirement. The week after their ceremony, two crews from the 126th left the Army Aviation Facility and our UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters. I was there with several family members to see the soldiers off as they headed to Fort Hood, Texas, to meet up with the rest of their company for pre-mobilization training. Later that week, I led the greatest band in the land, the 287th Army Band, in the Separation Day Parade. Take a look at this video of the band's performance. Take a look at this story from Officer Candidate Wendy McDougall on the Connelly Competition that our 262nd Component Repair Company is taking part in.
Soldiers from the 262 Component Repair Company compete in the 47th Annual Philip A. Connelly Competition. The objective of the competition is to promote and improve Army food service.
Competitions such as the Connelly Food Service Competition are really important to our units in improving their ability to meet the demands of a contemporary contingency operation. And again, the Connelly Food Service Competition is focused on field food service operations and field feeding operations. And so we're really proud of our 262 Component Repair Company representing us this year as our Delaware candidate at the regional level. And so the training that they are undergoing this weekend, which is culminating in their field feeding operation, is really a prelude to the regional competition that they will face next month.
Members of the team have 4 hours to prepare a full meal in a mobile kitchen trailer for the 140 soldiers in their unit. For some, this is their first time competing in the Connelly competition, and it is quite an honor.
It actually means a lot to me to be a part of the competition. I think at 92 Golf, we put in a lot of work, but we don't get as much acknowledgement for it. So being in the competition, we actually get to show off the skills that we possess and how proficient we are in our skills.
In July, the 262's team will compete in the regional competition. Soldiers will prepare the same meal in the same environment, being evaluated by a group of judges from across the region. Events like this not only provide soldiers on-the-job training, it prepares them for real-world situations that may require them to cook in a field environment.
You know, our Army must be postured to conduct decisive land operations in support of the national military strategy. In order to do this, it must maintain both an expeditionary quality and a campaign quality. Expeditionary meaning we are capable of projecting combat power and conducting forced entry operations, and campaign quality meaning that we can sustain that combat power over a prolonged period of time. And what it normally means that the Army is going to operate routinely in an austere environment, one that's not conducive to receiving contractor support, whether that's in an overseas contingency operation or perhaps in a homeland defense mission or natural disaster scenario. And so what that means is that the ability of our units to sustain themselves on the battlefield or in a homeland environment is critical to the Army's success in accomplishing its assigned mission.
If the team does well at the regional level, they advance to the national level. Reporting from Dagsboro, Delaware, I'm Officer Candidate Wendy McDougall.
Good luck at the regional competition. Before we see what the Air Guard was up to, here's another story from Officer Candidate McDougall about a couple of cool things that were happening at our 193rd Regional Training Institute in Bethany Beach.
A hurricane has ravaged the coast of Delaware, devastating the resort towns, leaving them with no electricity, no way out, and limited communication. The governor declares a state of emergency, and the Delaware National Guard deploys their civil support team and a joint incident site communications capability package to aid first responders. On this hot June day, this scenario is just an exercise.
Today's training session is focused on communications, which is going to allow us to, when the National Guard comes in, to be able to communicate with our radio system directly to the troops out in the field and help coordinate rescues and search and rescue missions.
Soldiers and airmen from CSTs across the country study at the 193rd Regional Training Institute for 2 weeks leading up to this scenario.
The exercise basically wraps up all 12 days that they've learned, all the RF equipment, all the radios, and actually put them in a real-world scenario. We have 2 teams deployed out, one simulating a bridge closure and one simulating communication interoperability with first responders and the command vehicle of the Bethany Beach Fire Department.
Deploying the CST and JISC package helps communication shortcomings with first responders during emergencies.
If we're not going to be hit directly, the National Guard troops will be sent down at the individual fire departments, and this fire department has the capability to actually tie the communications that those soldiers will bring with them on their vehicles with the fire department radios. So if they're out and about checking flood levels and for damage and things, we can increase our manpower without depleting our radios and communicate effectively between the 2 groups.
Not only was the 193rd Regional Training Institute holding the capstone exercise for the CST course, they were also having a capstone exercise for the 25 uniform course. Soldiers in the course are studying to qualify as a signal support systems specialist.
This is where our students who spent the last 4 weeks in class put all their training that they've learned, and they put it together in a final exercise.
A 4-man team is dispatched to the Dagsboro Armory to set up communications with other classmates that are performing the same task at a different location.
The first thing they're doing when they come out to the site is they're erecting an OE254, and once they have that completed, they communicate back to a further location, which is in Bethany Beach.
The purpose of this exercise is to provide soldiers with a real-world example of what being a signal support systems specialist could entail. While the scenario is in a training environment, certain guidance and timelines are in place to demonstrate the importance of the exercise. Reporting from Sussex County, Delaware, I'm Officer Candidate Wendy McDougall.
Well, that's enough green, so let us get to the blue. The Delaware Air National Guard Unit Training Assembly was full of pomp and circumstance in June. We began it with an officer with the Wing's EOD team marking a special achievement on Friday.
After 6 deployments and 2 other Bronze Stars being awarded, family, friends, and unit members finally convinced Major Devin Tomaseski to have a ceremony.
It's very heartwarming, and it makes us very proud. I know they made a certain nice ceremony out of this one. The last 2, he didn't want to be recognized. He isn't in it for the glory. He's in it to serve his country.
Brigadier General Carol Timmons pinned on Major Tomaseski's 3rd Bronze Star, awarded for exceptionally meritorious service while deployed as the executive officer of Joint Task Force Paladin Southwest at Camp Leatherneck in Afghanistan. The task force had 20 explosive ordnance disposal, or EOD, teams at 8 forward operating locations. Tomaseski, who serves as base engineer at the Newcastle Air National Guard Base, is an EOD qualified engineer with over 15 years of service. It is never easy for parents to send a child to war.
It's a terrible feeling for us because you worry about him constantly, but in the same respect, that's what he wants to do. That is who he is, and you have to respect that. So you sit home and you pray and you worry.
For his part, the Major attributes his awards to one thing: the EOD team members that he serves with. His words of wisdom to those who are new to EOD?
Listen to all your team members, take care of your people. Everyone's relying on each other to watch everyone's back. Make sure you get home safe.
As a surprise during the ceremony, Colonel Michael Feely announced Tomaseski had been approved for promotion to Lieutenant Colonel.
On Saturday, the Wing held a formation in front of their headquarters to witness a change of authority.
On Saturday, June 21st, the 166th Airlift Wing held a change of authority ceremony in front of its headquarters building at the Newcastle Air National Guard Base. The ceremony represents the changing of the guard for the unit's top enlisted airmen. Chief Master Sergeant Hank Rome stepped down as command chief for the wing after serving in the position since 2011. He had to depart literally at the end of the ceremony to head for the airport to catch a ride to Germany. The 166th Maintenance Squadron, where he serves as the full-time supervisor, is heading there later this year. Command Chief Shawnee Peters accepted the guidon as the new command chief of the 166th Airlift Wing. She comes from years in the 142nd Aeromedical Evacuation Squadron, where she was most recently the Chief of Operations. As Command Chief of the Wing, Chief Peters will advise Colonel Feely on enlisted matters and wing readiness, and work to ensure the wing continues to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. Chief Peters remarked in her speech that she did not expect to reach this level before her career ended.
I feel very honored, actually. It was an opportunity that I didn't always expect. I knew that if I could make it, maybe it was a possibility, but I got here. I am all about this wing and the mission and the people here, so I'm glad I got to stay and continue serving.
She already has goals for the wing.
I'm looking forward, number one goal would be communication. I want to enhance communication, make sure that we're reaching all the way down into the newest airmen and make sure that they feel engaged and valued and part of our team. And I also would like to start a force development program where we make sure that we are developing leaders within the organization.
Reporting for the Delaware Air National Guard, I'm Staff Sergeant Nathan Bright.
Great job, Hank, for the past 3 years. I know the wing can look forward to continuing success with Shawnee's tenacity. In fact, Command Chief Peters witnessed her old unit in formation at the same location on Sunday. The base held a call to duty ceremony for members of the 142nd as they get ready to deploy in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. They were joined by members of the 166 Civil Engineer Squadron as they too are deploying. The 30 engineers will be performing skilled trades working at numerous facilities in Southwest Asia. The 20 airmen from the Aeromedical Evacuation Squadron, including nurses, medical technicians, and ground support personnel, will once again work together to provide the best care in the air. Because the airmen will be departing at various times in smaller groups, the call to duty ceremony is a way to bring everyone together to wish the deployers well. It allows civic leaders like our congressional delegation who spoke and members of the community to be reminded that the Guard is deeply involved in America's wars overseas and missions stateside too. Good luck and Godspeed to our airmen as they head out this year. It takes more than good luck to get a wing to 106% strength. It takes one hell of a good recruiting team. The Delaware National Guard has the best team in the country, with the best supervisor in the country, and now has the awards to prove it. Here's Staff Sergeant Nathan Bright to explain.
The Air National Guard's 2013 Patriot Team of the Year.
In a presentation before the Chief of Staff meeting at Joint Force Headquarters on Tuesday, June 17th, the Delaware Air National Guard's recruiting and retention team was recognized as the best in the Air National Guard. They were named the Patriot Team of the Year for 2013.
It symbolizes the impact that they've had as a team on the strength for their wing and their state, but it also identifies teams that have a strong, cohesive unit and are able to work together to achieve recruiting and retention goals.
If that wasn't enough, the team supervisor, Master Sergeant Tanya Harris, was named the Recruiting Office Supervisor of the Year.
And what that means is she was selected as the #1 recruiting office supervisor for the entire country out of all 89 wings.
Senior Master Sergeant Mike Davis is the Delaware Air National Guard Recruiting and Retention Superintendent.
I get inquiries from all around the country, my counterparts around the country, asking me about the success of our recruiting and retention programs here in Delaware, because everybody is looking for kind of that silver bullet, that magic that's going to fix all of their recruiting and retention problems. And the truth is that it takes a combination of things to really make a successful recruiting and retention program. But if there really is a silver bullet, if there really is any magic, it's in the leadership of Master Sergeant Tanya Harris and in the hard work and dedication of her recruiting team. Dedication not only to the mission, but their dedication to each other. Their willingness to work just as hard to help a fellow recruiter get an enlistment as they do working on their own enlistments. And to me, that's the definition of teamwork, and therein lies the magic.
Master Sergeant Harris echoes this.
In regards to the team success, I think it's having team cohesion, trust within the team, knowing that we have each other's back, and overall for us to be successful, of course, as a team we were successful, but we also needed the support of the rest of the wing throughout the entire wing and within the Delaware National Guard, and we were able and fortunate enough to receive all the support we needed to get to where we are right now.
It was a proud day for the team and its supervisor.
It means a lot to me, especially more with being recognized by my peers and my colleagues within the recruiting and retention community nationwide.
Well, I couldn't be more proud to serve with such outstanding airmen. They represent the excellence, dedication, and hard work that I see throughout our entire Delaware National Guard. Well, that's all we have for this month. Thank you for all you do for our community, our state, and our nation. May God bless you and those deployed in harm's way, and may He continue to bless these great United States of America.